First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Salutations to the brothers scattered around the four corners of the earth who are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect who listen and believe in this word. I'm going to talk about, this lesson is going to be entitled, The Dangers of Pork. I was reading some Google News and I came across an article talking about pork, specifically eating it in a fast food setting. What kind of inspired me to kind of do a little mini lesson on it was Elder Apostle Gabar was talking about pork in the last their last camp. He kind of touched on pork, and how, as African Americans, so-called African Americans, we love eating pork. One time I used to tear some pork up, pepperoni, chitlins. I never did like no pig's feet. That was too gross. But as I got older and I went to, I did go to college. I attended college. I came into, some Nation of Islam, information about pork. And that helped me to stop eating pork. I didn't join Nation of Islam, but I took, the information that was presented as far as pork being a detriment, to our people, high blood pressure, cardiovascular, diabetes, overweight, clogged arteries. We got the worst health among any people in the world, and essentially that lets us know that we're the Hebrew Israelites because we're last at everything, so that would also add on to it also the health. But the article was entitled, The Shocking Fast Food Meat You Should Never Order According to a Cardiologist. Now let's get down here. It says here, I'll read a little bit of the article. Pork on its own is already tricky when it comes to heart health. Really? Pork is loaded with saturated fat, leading to cardiovascular problems, high cholesterol, weight gain, and more, says Caitlin Policastro, a nurse practitioner at the New York Center for Innovative Medicine. Eating pork from fast food restaurants just adds onto the saturated fat content, as it's most likely cooked in oils loaded with saturated fat. And look, let me read this little bit here. As stated previously, all things can be enjoyed in moderation. But for Hebrew Israelites, you're not supposed to eat any of this. That includes also, our Native Americans and our Latino brothers and sisters, tribe of, Issachar, and the Latino tribes, they're heavy, especially the Latino tribes, they're heavy also on eating pork. But you're not supposed to eat it, point blank, It's one of the laws, statutes, and the commandments, of course, in Leviticus 11. So let's go and filter this out with some scriptures. It won't be a very long lesson, just wanted to kind of touch on it. Leviticus 11, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud, among the beasts that ye shall eat. So that's stating that the only animals you can eat are the animals that parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud. So let's go and get some more a definition of what is a cloven hoof. A cloven hoof, cleft hoof, divided hoof is a hoof split into two toes. Now, what does chewing the cud mean? When animals such as cows or sheep chew the cud, they softly chew their partly digested food over and over again in their mouth before finally swallowing it. Some of the food is stored in a special pouch within its stomach. So the designation is that the beasts that you can eat are the ones that parted the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud. So that would mean, you can eat a cow or a sheep. Okay, let's go to verse 4. Leviticus 11, verse 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean to you. Verse 5. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean to you. I don't know what a coney is. I was trying to see what a coney was, but either way. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. So you can't be munching down on no rabbits. And this is kind of goes with the article. In the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Okay, so the swine is a big one, It's particularly for Israel, Our people love pork, pork ribs, pepperoni pizza. You can't tell them nothing, Even my peoples, I try to say, you can't eat that. Well, we don't eat a lot of it. We eat a little, I eat one piece of bacon or, no, you can't eat it. Our people are just big on that listening, not following the commandments. Like Yahweh, just do what my Father says. Just listen and do it without, saying anything against it. So that's why 2/3 are just, not going to be able to adhere to the law, statutes, commandments, the simple things. This is a simple thing. Not eating pork is a very simple thing. It ain't saying that if you don't eat pork, you're going to get into the kingdom. We hope to be among the hopeful elect, but that's not going to save you, necessarily. Oh, I don't eat no pork, so I know I'm going to get into the kingdom. No, that ain't going to save you. But it's a very, very minor commandment not to eat pork. Yahweh Shai gives you other options. You got chicken, you got beef, you got lamb. He gives you other options of which you can eat. So verse 8, Leviticus 11 and 8. Let's go back to 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. So you can't eat swine. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. So these animals that I, stated in the scriptures, most likely you're not going to come in contact with. Most Negroes don't eat camels or, hares, or bunnies or anything, rabbits. But the particular food that we are very fond of, a lot of our people, I'm not anymore, is swine. Swine is the big one. So it's dangerous for your health. It causes all types of disease. It's not good. Another food that particularly sisters like, it's lobster, crustaceans, that seafood. You can eat fish, but you're not to eat lobsters and crawfish, fish, and scrimps, as they say. So this is a very, very simple commandment. Don't eat pork. It's not good for you. Particularly as a Hebrew Israelite, it's not good for you. Other nations, they may be able to eat it and not have as much of as many health problems as you do. Because specifically, Yahweh told you not to eat it. So on that note, Shalom.